This is evaluating enterprise performance. It's intimately related to your whole farm goals, so we will have that video up soon. Go look at that. We'll talk about our whole farm goals and how that relates to why we selected certain enterprises. This is focused on the CSA season. If you don't know what a CSA is, check out some of our other videos. We'll give a brief rundown about what that is. A CSA is an acronym for Community Supported Agriculture. It's a very unique way to engage with your local community directly as a producer.
We can look at it also as a farm membership where members sign up at the beginning of the season and they commit to a share of the harvest.
The customer takes on some of the risk that the farm and the farmer are usually assuming by themselves. So if there's a catastrophic event where a crop fails due to weather, pest, whatever, some extreme event, the farmer can still produce and keep producing for the community without that reliance on selling the produce every week to keep afloat. We're going to talk about our goals now. Our main goal that influences everything on the farm is bringing people back to food. So that's kind of different in how the food economy is set up right now. It fits really well with the CSA model, which is why we chose that. Because usually you want to grow a lot of food and ship it into the city and sell really cheaply and whatever. That's not very possible for us right now in this market economy. It's
or
just
for a lot of small
it's really not,
or small time growers,
especially getting into
small
it.
scale growers.
We don't have a big truck. We don't have a bunch of labor. Cheap labor was a huge thing for a lot of these big time producers, which it's not really happening anymore. So we had to define our scale to be just me and Anne, and sometimes only me or sometimes only Anne, to be able to accomplish this. So this is kind of why we're also targeting homesteaders like us that want to take their farm to the next level and really start engaging their local community. Now that we kind of know what our goal is for our whole farm is bringing people back to food, we can kind of walk through some examples and the progression of how we have gotten to the point where we are at and what we're looking for going forward. So in year one, we really didn't have all of the infrastructure set up. We only had our greenhouse and our field systems really down. We had a baby right before the season, and we didn't have our walk-in cooler set up. We didn't have a wash pack station set up. So we were really hustling to get all that stuff going while not sleeping, and couldn't do much of anything, recovering and taking care of another human being. So it was tough. But anyway, we kind of just word of mouth spread our news about our CSA. We were kind of we were really new.
We had just moved here too.
Yeah.
So we took our flyers to a local food bank because we knew we would have excess considering this was our first year.
Mm-hmm.
So we took our flyers to the local food bank for the just to connect with the people that work there and that run the food bank. And we wound up getting members from the food bank.
They were actually pretty excited that we were doing something like that. We are certified organic, and we were certified organic at that point. So it's just kind of different. There's not very many, if any at all, that do produce around here that are certified organic. So people were excited about that, and we did get some members, like Ann said. But that was about the extent of our advertising. Outside of just friends and family that we knew, we felt like we weren't sure if we were able to promise a bunch of people stuff. And we had no idea how it was going to go with the baby and not having our infrastructure set. But it went okay. And through that year, we built relationships, and we got everything kind of set up. But we also got invited to an external market. External meaning not on our property. We went to kind of an established place. It was okay. It was good for different reasons, not necessarily because we were selling a ton of produce. It was actually terrible for that because there were already three or four other vegetable vendors, and the crowd really wasn't able to support that many. So instead of like maybe one or two and people spending, 20 bucks at each one, it was let's spend $2 or $3 at all four. And the share of the pie kind of like really got thin. So that might not be a problem if you live near a really big city or something, and there's millions of people to draw from. But that's just not where we're at. We're 2 hours away from both Philly and New York City, and it's really easy to get to both of them. But the logistics of traveling to those places, it's just so much. And like we said, we don't have a big truck. We don't have a way to like really get things far. So we're really focusing on bringing people into our space.
And we used it as an opportunity to connect with local communities since we were so new. No one knew our name, no one knew what we were about. So, and we had plans for the next year to bring people here to host events, to do yoga, to do as many things as we could, and be as creative as possible. So we knew that connecting with the customers was paramount to our future vision. So we wound up taking people's email addresses and getting them on our email list so that we can keep in touch with people that connected with our vision.
Yeah, that was really important. That was definitely the target market because that market was kind of catering towards a sustainable vision and not necessarily certified organic because that's not super prevalent like everywhere, and it's hard to do. Um, but that kind of mindset, that sustainable farming, sustainable food
And stewardship,
audience,
land
yeah.
stewardship as well.
So that was a place where people started recognizing us and putting, oh my gosh, you are the ones that were restoring that farm. Like, so it was really good community building, not so great for sales. And this is kind of the point of the video, So at the end of the year, we were evaluating this, and that at that time, it was uncertain whether that market was going to continue to exist. The ownership was transitioning and no one knew what was going to happen. We decided to take a jump and say, hey, we're going to do a market at our farm because fits right in with our goal. We wanted to bring people in. We wanted to cater this experience for this community. And we started setting it all up, and it went fairly well, at least for a good part of the year. And we'll talk a little bit about when it started to fall off, but we made way more money at our place than we did because you could kind of curate who the vendors were. We really had a bad experience like being one of four vegetable vendors, at a smaller market, and people aren't spending that much money, at each one. So we kind of didn't want to overlap any of the vendors. Like, we have one meat guy, one soap person, one this, one that, because it's like we don't want to dilute people's sales. We want to create something good for all of our vendors and the customers.